Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What's the point of achieving wealth if you feel empty inside? Can you truly call it happiness if you're constantly worried about money? Let's talk about the one thing most people overlook: how to create both lasting wealth and deep personal fulfillment. Wealth without happiness is one of life's quietest tragedies. And happiness that lacks financial freedom, it often feels incomplete. That's why today, we're diving into how you can create a life that holds both success and satisfaction, money and meaning. Now, I'm not going to sell you a fantasy. I don't have a shortcut or some magical method to make you rich by next Tuesday. What I do have are solid, time-tested principles. Ones that, when applied with real commitment and consistency, can transform not just your financial future, but your sense of purpose and fulfillment as well. These are the same principles I've shared with thousands of people across the world, and I've watched them change lives. Not just bank accounts, but entire belief systems and ways of living. Let's begin with a powerful truth. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. If you want something different, you have to start doing something different. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. It's common sense, but how often do we truly apply it? I remember when I was just a young man, full of ambition, full of dreams, and flat broke. I was earning enough to survive, but not enough to build a life I was proud of. I was busy making a living, but not designing a life. And trust me, there's a world of difference between the two. Then one day, my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, said something that stopped me in my tracks. Jim, if you want to be wealthy and happy, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That one sentence reshaped everything for me. Most people work tirelessly at their job. 8, 10, sometimes even 12 hours a day. But they don't spend even 10 minutes working on themselves. They clock in, grind it out, and repeat, yet wonder why nothing ever really changes. Why their life stays stuck. Why their relationships, mindset, and money all feel stagnant. Here's the truth. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. And that's where our journey must begin. I want to share with you what I call the 5 major pieces of the life puzzle. These 5 areas determine the overall quality of your life. And when you align each one, you create a foundation for both wealth and happiness. The first piece is your philosophy. Your philosophy is simply your way of thinking, your worldview. It's the lens through which you see everything: opportunity, effort, challenge, success. It shows up in those thousands of tiny decisions you make each day based on what you believe to be true about life, about yourself, and about what's possible. And here's what's truly fascinating. 2 people can be in the same situation, facing the same circumstances with the same opportunities, yet end up with completely different outcomes. Why? Because their philosophies are different. Let me give you a real-world example that highlights just how powerful your philosophy can be. I once spoke with 2 salespeople working at the exact same company. They sold the same product. They worked in the same territory. They called on the same types of customers. On paper, their circumstances were identical, but the results couldn't have been more different. One of them was earning $150,000 a year, while the other was struggling to make $30,000. So what made the difference? It wasn't the company. It wasn't the product. And it definitely wasn't the territory. The difference was philosophy. One of them approached each day with a mindset centered on excellence and service. He believed in going the extra mile, in solving problems, in creating value beyond the transaction. The other? His philosophy was about survival, just doing the bare minimum to get by. He didn't see the bigger picture, and as a result, he didn't grow. Your philosophy shapes how you do everything. It determines whether you're spending or investing, whether you're entertaining yourself to distraction or educating yourself toward success. It decides whether you blame your circumstances or take full ownership of your life. And here's the critical part. Your philosophy is shaped by your environment, what you read, what you listen to, and who you spend time with. It's not just about what's in your head. It's also about what you allow into your head. So let me ask you, and really take a moment with these questions. What books have you read in the past 90 days? What podcasts or audio programs are you listening to regularly? Who are the people you spend the most time with? And are they lifting you higher or holding you back? Are they stretching your dreams or reinforcing your limits? You see, if you want to change your results, you must become a student of success. And that doesn't just mean financial success. It means success in all areas of life. In your relationships, your health, your mindset, your contribution, and your fulfillment. Study the lives of great men and women. Read biographies. Learn from masters. Surround yourself with voices and people who challenge you to grow, not just people who make you comfortable. Because in the end, your philosophy will determine your destiny. Now let's move to the second piece of the life puzzle, your attitude. Your attitude is your emotional posture, your mental position toward life. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond to what happens to you. We all go through tough times. We all face setbacks. But some people allow those challenges to turn them bitter, while others use them to become better. I've always said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. Because wishing for ease never brings growth. But embracing the challenge, that's where real change happens. And here's something to remember. Your attitude is a choice. It's a decision you make every single morning when you open your eyes. Will you choose to be enthusiastic, grateful, and optimistic? Or will you choose to complain, criticize, and focus on what's wrong? That one choice, made over and over again, ripples through every part of your life. I've known people with very little in terms of material possessions, but they walk through life with joy, purpose, and resilience. And I've known others with plenty, but who are constantly dissatisfied, negative, and stuck. I've met people who, on the surface, had very little. Their material wealth was minimal, yet their hearts were full of gratitude, and their days were filled with joy. Their attitude made them richer, far richer, than some millionaires I've known. And on the flip side, I've known individuals with substantial financial resources who lived with a constant sense of scarcity. They were always worried, always fearful of losing what they had. Despite their wealth, they lived poor. Let me tell you something that might shift your perspective. Happiness is not a destination. It's not some far-off place you'll arrive at someday. It's a way of traveling. It's not something that shows up when conditions are perfect. It's something you choose in the moment. Happiness isn't about dependency. It's about decision. It's about what you decide to pursue and, just as importantly, what you decide to overlook. Now let's move on to the third piece of the life puzzle, activity. Because without action, philosophy and attitude are meaningless. You can have the right mindset and the most powerful beliefs in the world, but if you don't back them up with consistent action, they won't take you anywhere. Activity is where real progress begins. It's the bridge between your inner world and your outer results. This is where you take knowledge and turn it into practice, where you convert wisdom into habit, where you channel inspiration into daily discipline. Without action, nothing changes. Let me ask you, what are you doing with the knowledge you already have? Are you applying what you've learned, or are you stuck in a cycle of collecting more and more information while rarely putting it to use? It's easy to fall into the trap of overconsumption, reading, listening, watching, but never truly executing. Don't become someone who's always learning, but never doing. You've probably heard the phrase, knowledge is power. But that's only half true. Knowledge by itself is potential power. It only becomes real power when it's applied. Think about it. I can know everything about fitness. I could study nutrition, memorize workout plans, understand every aspect of health. But if I don't actually move my body or eat right, that knowledge means nothing. I won't get fit by knowing. I get fit by doing. The same goes for money. I might know how to build wealth, how to save, how to invest, how to manage risk. But unless I take action and apply those principles, my finances won't change. That's why we need to develop disciplines, the small, intentional habits we perform consistently day after day. Disciplines like saving a portion of your income each month, reading 10 pages of a good book every night, making a few extra phone calls, practicing gratitude. These small, steady disciplines compound over time into extraordinary results. Great achievements are rarely the result of a single, massive action. They're the result of small efforts, repeated consistently. And here's something incredible about discipline. It has a multiplying effect. Money may require money to make more money, but discipline multiplies whatever you start with. If you have $1 in discipline, you can turn it into 2. If you have talent and discipline, you can turn it into brilliance. If you have opportunities and discipline, you can turn them into lasting success. Discipline takes potential and turns it into power. It takes raw material, no matter how small, and makes something meaningful out of it. Now we move to the fourth piece of the life puzzle, and it builds perfectly on everything we've covered so far. The fourth piece of the life puzzle is results. Because no matter how solid your philosophy is, how positive your attitude is, or how consistent your activity is, at the end of the day, we need to measure our progress. We need to be able to look at our lives and see real outcomes, the kind that reflect the changes we're striving to create. You can't change your destination overnight. That's just not how growth works. But what you can do, starting today, is change your direction. And when you change your direction and stay the course, your destination will inevitably change over time. Results act like a mirror. They reflect back to us whether our philosophy is aligned, our attitude is productive, and our daily actions are effective. And if we don't like what we see in that mirror, it's a signal. It means it's time to adjust one or more of those areas. The good news is, if you're willing to reflect, you can redirect. That's why I always recommend keeping a journal. Not just for your thoughts and feelings, but for tracking your life. Write down your goals, your plans, your daily actions, your breakthroughs, and even your setbacks. Record your progress in key areas like finances, relationships, health, and personal development every month. Because the truth is, what gets measured gets improved, and what gets measured gets done. But don't just measure the end goal. Measure the distance you've traveled. Don't just evaluate whether you've hit the target. Evaluate how much you've grown along the way. Because success is not about reaching a finish line someone else has drawn for you. It's about steady progress toward your own personal, meaningful goals, not arbitrary standards set by society. And that leads us to the fifth and final piece of the life puzzle: lifestyle. Lifestyle is the art of living well. It's the ability to shape your life around your highest values, your deepest desires, and the freedom to spend your time in ways that reflect what matters most to you. It's not just about what you have. It's about how you live. The goal is not simply to become financially wealthy. That's only part of the picture. The real goal is to live a rich life. And by rich, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about richness in experiences, in relationships, in purpose, in laughter, and in contribution. Because true wealth isn't just about dollars in a bank account. It's about having the health to enjoy your days, the relationships that bring connection and love, the work that brings meaning, the growth that challenges you, and the opportunities that allow you to make a difference. When you have all these, along with financial peace, you have what I call a complete lifestyle, one that offers both prosperity and peace of mind. Now, with that foundation in place, let's talk strategy. Because while money isn't everything, it is a vital tool for building the lifestyle you envision. And understanding how to grow it wisely is a key step in this journey. Let's begin with one of the most powerful financial principles ever discovered: compound interest. Einstein once called it the eighth wonder of the world. And he was right. It's not just a clever idea, it's a force of nature. When you start with even a small amount and consistently contribute to it over time, the growth doesn't just add up, it begins to multiply. It becomes exponential. But the magic only works if you're willing to start and stay consistent. Let me give you a powerful example of what compound interest can do. Imagine you begin saving just $100 each month starting at age 25. You invest it consistently, and it grows at an average annual return of 10%, which happens to align closely with the historical long-term average of the stock market. Now, if you stick with it until age 65, you'll end up with over $640,000. But let's say you delay that decision and wait until you're 35 to begin. You follow the same strategy, the same amount, the same return. By the time you're 65, you'll have only about $230,000. 10 years of waiting. Just a single decade of procrastination could cost you more than $400,000. That's the sheer power of compound interest. And just as importantly, it's a clear warning about the true cost of delaying action. Because when it comes to compounding, time is either your best friend or your worst enemy. Now here's the second key to building real wealth. Understand that your income is directly connected to the value you provide in a marketplace. If you want to earn more, you must become more valuable. That means expanding your skill set, increasing your knowledge, developing your leadership, and learning how to solve more complex problems. The marketplace doesn't reward you for the hours you work. It rewards you for the value you bring. That's why one person earns $500 an hour while another earns $5. The difference isn't the number of hours in their day. It's the value of what they contribute during those hours. So here's a question worth reflecting on. How can you become more valuable to the people you serve? How can you increase your ability to solve meaningful problems? How can you use your time, talent, and energy to make a greater impact? Now let's look at the third principle, money management. It's not just about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and what you do with it. I've seen people earn millions of dollars and still end up broke. And I've seen others who never earned more than a modest income quietly build real, lasting wealth. The difference wasn't income, it was discipline. You must learn to manage your money with intention. Start by paying yourself first. Before you pay the rent, before you pay the bills, before you spend a dime on groceries or gas, set aside at least 10% of your income for long-term investing. Make it automatic. Set it up once so you never even have to think about it. And then let it grow. Don't touch it. Don't obsess over it. Just let time and consistency do the work. And here's another fundamental habit. Live below your means. Too often, especially in America, we fall into a dangerous pattern. We spend more than we earn. We buy things we don't truly need with money we don't actually have to impress people we don't even really care about. But that kind of lifestyle doesn't build wealth. It builds stress, debt, and disappointment. Living beyond your means might feel satisfying in the short term, but in reality, it's a recipe for long-term financial stress. That's why I always recommend practicing what I call intelligent restraint. This means making financial decisions not based on impulse or emotion, but on logic and long-term value. Before making a purchase, pause and ask yourself, is this really the best use of my money right now? That one question can help you avoid countless financial missteps. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about being intentional. Because every dollar you spend is either moving you closer to financial freedom or pulling you further away. The fourth principle is diversification. Don't rely solely on a single paycheck or one business for your livelihood. Why? Because when that one stream dries up, so does your financial stability. Instead, look for ways to create multiple income streams. This could be through investments, rental income, royalties, or starting a small side business. Did you know the average millionaire has 7 streams of income? That's not a coincidence. It's a strategy. The fifth principle is one of the most powerful. Invest in yourself. Your earning ability is your greatest financial asset. The more you learn, the more you can earn. The more you grow, the more value you bring to others. The more problems you can solve, the more doors will open for you. So make a habit of learning every day. Read books, take online courses, attend workshops, listen to podcasts. Never stop improving your mindset, your skills, and your ability to adapt. Now, let's shift gears for a moment. Because at the very beginning of this video, I said something important. Wealth without happiness is a tragedy. So how do you cultivate true happiness? Let's explore. First, understand this. Happiness isn't something you chase. It's something that shows up when you're on the right path. It's the natural byproduct of progress. When you're doing work that matters, building meaningful relationships, and contributing to something bigger than yourself. Second, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is the antidote to 2 of the biggest thieves of joy, entitlement and comparison. When you're truly grateful, there's no room for entitlement because you recognize that nothing is guaranteed. When you focus on your blessings, you stop obsessing over what others have. Here's a simple practice. Every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. It could be a smile from a stranger, a warm cup of coffee, or a quiet moment at sunset. When you learn to appreciate what's already in your life, you begin to realize you already have more than enough. Third, invest in your relationships. Study after study confirms that the greatest predictor of long-term happiness is not wealth, not status, not success, but the strength and depth of your relationships. So nurture the ones you love. Spend time with your family. Be truly present when you're with them. Listen, really listen, more than you talk. Ask thoughtful questions. Show sincere appreciation. These small gestures, repeated consistently, compound just like financial investments. But instead of dollars, they yield a wealth of love, connection, and fulfillment. To truly nurture happiness, focus on cultivating deep, meaningful friendships, not just surface-level acquaintances, but genuine connections with people who truly know you. These are the individuals who accept you for who you are, who challenge you to grow, and who stand beside you during both victories and setbacks. When you have friends you can be authentic and vulnerable with, life feels lighter and richer. Next, find purpose in the work you do. We spend a significant portion of our lives working. So isn't it worth finding meaning in what fills so much of our time? Whether you're running a company or sweeping the floors, ask yourself, how does this role help someone else? How does it contribute, even in a small way, to making the world better? If you struggle to find purpose in your current job, that may be a signal to reflect. Maybe it's time to consider a different path, or maybe your purpose can be found outside of work, through volunteering, mentoring, or diving into a passion project that brings your soul to life. Whatever you do, don't settle for going through the motions. Seek something that uses your strengths and stirs your heart. Equally important is taking care of your health. It's difficult to experience genuine happiness when your body is run down, your energy is low, or you're in constant pain. Eating well, staying active, getting restful sleep, and managing stress. These aren't just health practices. They're foundational happiness habits. Your body and mind are deeply connected, and when you nourish one, you support the other. That's why prioritizing your well-being is not selfish, it's essential. Then, there's mindfulness, the simple yet powerful practice of being fully present. Too many of us live trapped in the past or anxious about the future. But life doesn't exist in those places. It happens here, in this very moment. When you slow down and truly engage with the now, whether it's enjoying a cup of tea, listening to a loved one, or simply feeling the warmth of the sun, you unlock a kind of fulfillment that no external achievement can match. Another key to happiness is goal setting. As human beings, we're wired to pursue progress. We crave the sense of moving forward, growing, achieving. But not just any goals will do. The most powerful goals are those that mean something to you personally. Not the ones society says you should chase, but the ones your soul longs for. At the same time, the goals you set should stretch you, just enough to spark growth, but not so much that they leave you overwhelmed or disheartened. There's a sweet spot where challenge meets purpose, and in that space, joy lives. Before we move forward, let's clear up a common misconception. The idea that wealth and happiness are somehow in conflict. That one must be sacrificed for the other. There's a common belief that to become wealthy, you must sacrifice your happiness. Or that to be truly happy, you must give up the pursuit of wealth. But that belief creates a false choice. The truth is, you can have both. You can be wealthy and happy. And not only that, they can actually enhance each other. When you approach building wealth as a meaningful, creative journey, it becomes something that adds to your sense of fulfillment. And when you're already living with joy and purpose, you tend to make better decisions, especially around money. You become more thoughtful, more strategic, and more open to opportunities that align with your values. This positive energy often attracts even more abundance into your life. The key is to keep money in its proper place. Think of it this way. Money is a fantastic servant, but a terrible master. If you allow the pursuit of money to dominate your life, you'll never feel like you have enough. There will always be a bigger number to chase, another goal just out of reach. But if your true aim is to live a meaningful and purposeful life, and you use money simply as a tool to help support that vision, then you can experience the best of both worlds. Let me offer you 3 powerful mindset shifts that can help you integrate both wealth and happiness more fully into your life. First, shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. A scarcity mindset tells you that there's never enough to go around. It whispers that someone else's success is your loss and that you have to guard what you have. But an abundance mindset tells a different story. It says there's more than enough for everyone. That with creativity and collaboration, we can grow the pie instead of fighting over the slices. When you think abundantly, You're more generous, more courageous, and more innovative. And those qualities not only enhance your happiness, but often lead to even greater financial success. Second, shift from a transactional mindset to a transformational mindset. A transactional mindset is focused on what can I get? But a transformational mindset asks, what can I give? How can I contribute? How can I add value? How can I make someone's life better? When you approach your work, your relationships, and your daily interactions from that higher perspective, life becomes more meaningful. And here's the beautiful irony. When you give more, you often receive more too, but in a deeper, more satisfying way. Third, move from an either/or mindset to a both/and mindset. Many people feel trapped in a choosing between success and happiness, between a thriving career and a fulfilling family life, between ambition and peace. But do you really have to choose? Often, with wisdom and creativity, you can craft a life that includes both. It's not always easy, but it is possible. You can be ambitious and compassionate. You can pursue success and still live in balance. You can build wealth and experience true happiness at the same time. It may not always be easy, and yes, it will require intentional decisions, occasional sacrifices, and a willingness to grow. But it's entirely possible. Now, I want to speak directly to those of you who may be facing financial hardship right now. Maybe you're carrying the weight of debt. Maybe you've encountered setbacks, disappointments, or financial failures that have left you feeling stuck or discouraged. Or perhaps you're just beginning your journey, looking ahead at what feels like a long, uncertain road toward financial freedom. If that's you, let me start with this. Don't lose heart. Every financial journey comes with its share of ups and downs. What matters most isn't where you are right now. It's the direction you're headed and the habits you're beginning to form. Because in the end, it's the small steps taken consistently that lead to the biggest changes. Second, begin exactly where you are. Don't wait for the perfect moment or some ideal circumstance to start saving, investing, or planning for your future. If all you can set aside is $10 a week, then begin with that. The most important thing isn't the size of your savings. It's the habit you're building. It's the discipline, the mindset, the commitment to your growth. That's where true transformation begins. Third, educate yourself. Take ownership of your financial literacy. Learn how money works, how to manage it, grow it, and protect it. Whether it's through books, podcasts, courses, or online communities, there's a wealth of knowledge out there waiting for you. Many of the best resources are even free. When it comes to your financial future, knowledge truly is power, especially when it's applied. Fourth, seek out mentors and role models. Find people who have walked the path you want to walk. Individuals who not only found financial success, but who live with integrity, wisdom, and balance. Study their habits. Ask questions. Watch how they make decisions. Success leaves clues, and when you follow in the footsteps of someone who's done it well, you accelerate your own growth. Finally, take full responsibility. Yes, your current financial situation may not be entirely your fault. Life is full of systemic obstacles and unexpected turns beyond your control. But here's the truth. Your future is your responsibility. You have the ability to make better choices, to form stronger habits, and to steer your life in a more empowered direction. The road may be long, but every great journey starts with one step. So keep moving forward, because the future is still yours to create. In the next section, we'll talk about how to build that future with intention and resilience. And for those of you who have already reached a level of financial success but still feel something is missing, still searching for deeper happiness and true fulfillment, this part is especially for you. First, remember this. Money is a powerful tool, but it's not the ultimate destination. It's meant to serve you, not define you. Use your wealth to build a life that's rich in meaning. Invest your resources not just in things, but in experiences that create memories, in relationships that bring connection, in personal growth that fuels your purpose, and in causes that leave a legacy. Second, practice generosity. Giving isn't just about helping others. It's transformative for you as well. When you give freely, you connect to something beyond yourself. You widen your perspective, reduce your ego, and experience a kind of joy that no material possession can match. Isn't it true that the most satisfying moments in life are often the ones where we give? not get. Third, seek balance. Achieving success in your career or finances means little if it comes at the cost of your health, relationships, or peace of mind. Make time for your loved ones, for rest, for play, for introspection. These aren't indulgences. They are vital to living a complete and meaningful life. Fourth, stay grounded in humility and fueled by curiosity. Never stop learning. Never stop evolving. The moment you think you've made it or that you've figured it all out is the moment growth stops. Stay a student of life and you'll always be expanding. Now, as we come to a close, remember this core truth. If you want to be both wealthy and happy, you must build your life upon timeless principles. Start by working harder on yourself than you do on your job, because who you become will always outweigh what you earn. Personal development is the foundation upon which every other success is built. Focus on creating real value. Don't chase money. Solve problems, serve others, and the rewards will follow. Establish strong habits. Build discipline into your daily routine. It's the small actions, repeated with consistency, that lead to extraordinary outcomes over time. Be wise with your resources. It's not just about how much you make, but how you manage, preserve, and grow what you already have. And above all, nurture gratitude. True happiness often comes not from having more, but from learning to appreciate what you already possess. Pour into your relationships, because it's the depth of your connections that most accurately predicts your happiness. Seek purpose in your work, meaning in your days. Without purpose, wealth is empty. With it, even small achievements feel deeply rewarding. Keep your life in perspective. Yes, financial freedom is a beautiful goal, but it's only one part of what it means to live richly. Your health, your relationships, your inner growth, your contribution, they all matter just as much. And finally, never forget, your life won't improve by chance. It improves by change. If you want different results, you must take different actions. If you want more from life, you must become more in the process. The opportunity is yours. The decision is yours. And the future? It's yours to create. I believe in your potential. With the right mindset, the right attitude, consistent action, and a balanced lifestyle, you could design a life that brings you not only success, but lasting peace and joy. A life of true wealth and real happiness. Take that first step today. Even if it's small, take it. Be gentle with the process, but hold yourself accountable. Stretch beyond what feels comfortable. Keep growing. Transform your life. And never forget this. 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The real question is, where? That destination will be shaped entirely by the decisions you make and the actions you take starting today. So choose with intention. Act with consistency. Build a life that feels truly rich. Not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and purposefully. The path to becoming both wealthy and happy isn't without its challenges. There will be obstacles, moments of doubt, and times when the road feels steep. But here's what you must remember. It's absolutely worth it. And more importantly, you are worth it. Make the commitment here and now to become all that you are capable of becoming. Dedicate yourself to creating the life you imagine and contributing your gifts in meaningful ways. Because it's within that journey of becoming, of creating, of giving, that you will discover not just material success, but the deep sense of fulfillment and peace your heart truly craves. Let me leave you with this thought. Life isn't merely about getting more or having more. It's about becoming more and being present. It's not just about what you accumulate, but how much you contribute. It's not about chasing empty success. It's about living a life of real significance. When your pursuit of wealth aligns with your highest values and your deepest sense of purpose, when you begin to see money not as the ultimate goal, but as a tool to serve your mission, and when you shift your focus from simply acquiring value to creating it, you'll notice something beautiful. Both wealth and happiness begin to flow more effortlessly into your life. The real secret to having it all? Realizing you already do. The real secret to living? It's giving. And the real secret to success? It lies in service. Understand this. Wealth and happiness are not in competition. In fact, they complement each other. They're the twin rewards of a life well lived. So move forward with boldness and belief. Use these principles like a compass, guiding your every step with discipline and clarity. Build a life of true prosperity, one that is not only rich in material wealth, but overflowing with purpose, meaning, and joy. You already possess everything you need to begin. You have the ability to learn, to grow, and to achieve more than you've imagined. You have talents that are uniquely yours, gifts the world is waiting for. Your dreams aren't random. They're rooted in your purpose. All that remains is to act. Not someday, not when the timing is perfect, but today, this very moment. Because this moment is where your life is happening. This moment is the turning point. This is where change begins and where your future is born. Wishing you abundant health, lasting happiness, and the courage to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. And don't forget, subscribe to Mindset Daily for more inspiration on your journey to becoming your best self.